Hey, good people, it's your boy, Pastor Drew from the Dru Kelly Show. Look who I have with me here in the virtual studio. It's none other than singer, songwriter, gospel recording artist. He is Enin Perry. Hey, welcome, Enin.
Hey, how's it going, man? I'm so super excited, stoked and elated to be on your show this evening.
Wow, I wanted to bring you on because there's a whole lot of folks that watch us down in Atlanta and the surrounding area, and I wanted them to know that there's something special going on April 27th. Tell us all about it.
Yes, we are. I'm super excited. Those who know me, especially my fan base, know me for R&B, doing vocals for different artists, R. Kelly, just a whole bunch of R&B artists. And this is a first for me as far as doing a live recording. And this is my 7th gospel album that we presented. And well, what makes this very different, this album was totally anointed by God, and as many are, but this one particularly because we had done the video and the single "Waiting on You," which is the title of the album, first, back before the pandemic hit. Pandemic hit, God said, put it aside. And I'm like, huh? so yeah, I just went on a writing spree and wrote for different artists and myself, and we released the Christmas album and a whole bunch of other stuff before that. Then here it is last year, 2023, God was like, okay, now is the time. And then everything else fell in place. The writers were Manny Bishop, who's worked with Andre Crouch and a whole bunch of other artists, with small with different people. And, they were like, brother, because I'd been working with him on another project called Purple Love that was already on an R&B project. And he was like, man, this whole time God has been telling me to write this gospel project for you. So I'm like, sit back and I'm like, well, he gave me all these songs on the disc drive, and I was like, these are already completed. I was like, who are these for? And he was like, they're for you. And I was like, every last one of them, which is perfect. They lined right up with the single we'd already created in the video, which is about crystal meth addiction that we filmed here in Atlanta. Big ups to We Good Visuals, who is going to be in the house that night on the concert too, but also did the filming of the video. And the unique thing is that every single actor from Tyler Perry's studio had that testimony or delivered from a crystal meth addiction. So, it was God's timing. Like I said, it's very special, with just some things that happened. God set us on the back burner and said, look, now is the time. So post-pandemic, this album talks about healing, talks about mental health issues, talks about church hurt, which we don't talk about very often since the word was invented. And, just a whole plethora of subjects. And it actually takes you back to the major single on there called How Much that we just released. For every believer and unbeliever, reaffirmates faith, and it asks the question, how much did it cost for your life? No judgment zone. I always say in my church, I'm like, we need to stop relitigating sin, because Jesus paid it all. Either you're a hypocrite or a liar if you keep relitigating people's sin over and over again. Sin is sin in God's sight. He paid it all. So let's leave it there at the cross and actually become Christians and utilize that and start loving on folks. And that's what this album is about, this message about. And I'm super stoked that later I'm just the messenger.
Wow, that's really interesting that you say that, and I believe that that's one of the reasons. There's millions of reasons, and everybody have different reasons as to why they are walking away from the church. But I truly believe that that's one of the big reasons that people are walking away. People want to see signs, miracles, and wonders. And how can I see signs, miracles, and wonders if you are preaching as though you don't believe in the things that you're preaching to me about? You mentioned Andre Crouch a little bit ago. Shout out to the Crouch family. They recently lost Sandra Crouch, the sister of Andre Crouch. So shout out to them. What can the saints of God, the fans, expect from this upcoming concert?
Oh man, I always say come expected, because I'm expected, because I've been on the back burner. God's been doing everything, sending everybody, every musician that's playing on this joint, from my executive producer Shavaye Tom Coleman, big out to him, and the band leaders. And this is a little different thing, because this is a double CD, but the pre-recorded version of Waiting on You, the album, will be released on the same date, on the 27th. Then this pre-recorded album, which is sort of the same album, but I allowed the musicians to create the atmosphere. And so it's the Waiting on You album, but certain selections from that album live and done differently. But we mix up a whole bunch of different genres, from jazz to progressive to R&B to soul to everything, to really incorporate in this project musically, to make it not only exceptional musically, but also to minister to the masses. And in live experience, this is my first live experience other than recording with the Gospel Music Workshop of America Southern District in California, which is my home state. But this is the first time it's actually just been me, in the band, and my vocalists that are going to be singing. So ministry, come expecting. Bring your hurts, bring your pain, bring the questions that you've been asking, because the theme of the entire concert is waiting on God. For whatever you're waiting for, God, we're trusting God and believing God for deliverance that night, and for the answers to the things that people have been searching for through this pandemic. You've lost loved ones, you've been hurt, you've done the church hurt thing, and you're going through all of this, and God is getting ready to speak to you. So I dare you to tune in.
I like the way you set that up. You set that up like you're coming for a concert, but look out for the revival.
Why don't you make it
Now you've been in the studio quite a bit. So how do you prepare, being in the studio so much? How do you prepare for this live thing?
Well, I'm bringing all my crew with me, because my office is located in a 7-prong studio, which is called American Sushi Studios. Big ups to him and my brother, who we are co-partners in that venture, bringing the record label and the actual studio together. So we do artist development there, but we've been working together through all these projects. I call it our little Motown in Atlanta.
Now I've seen several videos of yours, and if you guys want to, you can go to YouTube. There's quite a few videos of Enin on YouTube. How does performing live compare to being in the studio?
Well, this is crazy, because all the live videos that we have, we never had an actual live album that's recorded. And everybody, when I record for different artists, Christopher Starr, which is Mary J. Blige's producer here, big ups to him. We've been working together for a minute. And every time I perform in the studio versus live, he said, "Man, you need to do a live album, because you're so different when you." They need to see that, and I'm shy when it comes, because I'm old school. I'm 52. I came out when you had to do in stores and all this other stuff, and they didn't really have where the fans want to see everything that you do in your house, everything. I'm like, we didn't have to deal with that, except for you were in public to deal with it.
Right.
So, this is different for me, because I'm opening up more and showing people more of who Reverend Dr. Enin Perry is as a person, and as a laity, and as a musician and a muse as well, and just what I do, what I'm saying, and getting that personal contact with people, and letting them know exactly who I am as a person as well, as in ministry as well.
So you were saying that there was quite a bit of genres that you hit, that you're familiar with, and you dive into. Being so multicultural, faceted, faceted, which genre just feels the most comfortable for you?
Ooh, that's a hard question. I'm gonna say, can I say this? Because my mission is R&B soul inspirational. So my roots. Oh, let me put it like this. My dad, rest his soul, we lost him to COVID when it hit. But my dad was a blues musician from the home of the blues, which is Clarksville, Mississippi, y'all. Fun fact, not Memphis. The blues came from Clarksville, Kidman Circuit, where it first started. And also gospel music. My mom is a gospel singer and writer, and she's also writing on this project with me. 74 years old, still doing what God told her to do.
Amazing.
And, so that was such an honor, and the only difference in this album is that I have my mom. I didn't get a chance to record with my dad while he was alive, but going back to the original question, it's a mix-up of gospel and R&B and soul. From my roots from the Delta, from Clarksville, Mississippi, where as a child I grew up, and we sung all over Mississippi Mass Choir, the Delta, you name it. That's where my roots in gospel was. And when I got signed to Sony it took me to techno, R&B, and all the other different genres, which kind of just enrich what I already had in gospel. As you know, everybody come out to church. R&B and
I was going to ask you, how do you engage the audience? But all they got to do is go and watch some of your videos, and they'll see that this brother used the entire stage, and a piece of the stage he don't use when he's I want to say leading worship, but for those of you out there in the other genre, you'll know it as performing. When he's performing, he's using the entire stage, and there's lots of energy in what it is that he does. It is April the 27th. Give us the venue, date, and time again.
The venue will be at my home church. Big ups to a New Life Christian Church in McDonough, Georgia. It's right on the outskirts of Atlanta, down from the airport. So we have a special guests that are coming in, and of course many other artists that are going to be coming in, and just enjoying the Lord with us that night. Elder Stephen Anderson, I got to give up to my brother. I met him in Dallas, Texas at a Christmas event where the Dallas Cowboys, every year they do this big thing with the local radio stations and everything to bring gospel music to the arena, where they give up thousands of dollars worth of brand new toys and clothes for the kids for Christmas. So I was honored to be one of the guest artists, along with Elder Stephen Anderson, who's going to be my special guest. He was releasing his first project then, and I was working on promoting, this was slightly before the pandemic, the Waiting on You album. And so when we connected, I said, brother, we got to do something together one day, whether it's two. And this guy's been all over Europe, Africa, and everything. I said, well, you know what? Let's bring it home, such a time as this. He was like, yeah, hey, we said we're going to do it. Let's do it. So, So honored to have him come down from Irvine, Texas to be with us in Atlanta that night as well. And like I said, all the writers and songwriters and gospel music professionals that'll be in the house, just, trying to, because this thing is so different. It's not anything you've heard before. It's not the typical gospel. It's not the typical R&B. It's not typical anything that you had. And I say this in modesty because God dropped this on us. We all are just vessels going like, seriously when he first gave it, because we the musicality, the lyrics, and then when we got to recording, all of us sat back and just were ministered to by it, and it's like we weren't even nowhere in. That's why I said something special is going to happen. I always say musically, when something catastrophic happens, like a pandemic or the civil rights movement, it always was a reformation in music right when that happened. And now I think people are broken up enough where they're now expecting something different from what they've been hearing and seeing as of late. Even the great Kirk Franklin has said, like, man, I'm in awe. I'm like at a standstill. It's like, I've done everything that I can do, and like I'm still just waiting on God. And I'm like, it's so appropriate that we're all now waiting on God for a movement. Azusa Street revival happened when it was a time where everybody was still waiting on God for this movement to happen. And I'm taken aback. So I'm just sitting back like, okay, God, you drive me. I don't know where we're going, but you know what I'm saying? When he hit, it's going to hit the way he wants it to hit. And we're just humble, and we're preparing ourselves, not only mentally, but physically and spiritually, for God to move and talk to his people.
Amen. God bless you, Enin. Thank you so much. Gonna have you back, man. We got to talk all things politics and so much more the next time you come around. I thought about you. I had a panel on Candace Owens and some other stuff, and I was wow, Enin would have been perfect for this conversation. But we're gonna get you back for a full and complete interview in the coming weeks. After the concert, you're gonna come back and let us know how that went, and hopefully you'll have some video that we could share on the night of the interview. All right. Thank you for dropping by and letting us know what's going on, man. Until next time, God bless you.
Yes, sir. I love you.